It's time for part 2 of our haunted location. I'm very excited for this part 2. I was really excited for last week's episode where we went over US locations because the US just has some great haunted locations, but we're heading to Europe this week.
And they're much older.
They are.
Much more
By
haunted,
many.
I imagine.
Yeah. One thing I absolutely love about Europe and some of these locations, some of which I think listeners will probably know about, but a lot like last week, you might not know some of the details, or you might feel like, oh yeah, I'm sure that place is haunted, but how or what's the history behind it? I think a lot of people might not know a lot of this. Hey friends, welcome to the Taste Toast Travel Podcast. We're your hosts and resident foodies and lovers of all things travel and exploration.
Grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and enjoy the journey with us.
Welcome back to Taste Toast Travel. I'm Tara.
And John.
That almost caught me off guard.
Yeah.
I'm so excited because it's time for part 2 of our haunted location. I'm very excited for this part 2. I was really excited for last week's episode where we went over US locations because the US just has some great haunted locations, but we're heading to Europe this week. And
they're much older.
They are.
Much more
By
haunted,
many.
I imagine.
Yeah.
Old ghosts are like the meanest.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah.
Because
The
you're
older
such
the
a
ghost,
ghost.
the more the mean.
The more the ghost, the more. Mind you, he is drinking a glass of wine right now, so maybe that's why some of this isn't landing.
No, we'll get there.
It's hit or miss.
If you drank as much as I did, this would all be funny.
So me and everyone who listens has to have.
Yeah, if you drink like 2 glasses of wine
and
and listen, you'll be like, I get it now.
Oh God, absolutely not. I'm sorry. But yes, one thing I absolutely love about Europe and some of these locations, some of which I think listeners will probably know about, but a lot like last week, you might not know some of the details, or you might feel like, oh yeah, I'm sure that place is haunted, but how or what's the history behind it? I think a lot of people might not know a lot of this. So we're going to dig into some really fun stories today.
Guess we'll find out.
Yeah. And I don't know, Europe, it just has this lore to it. And yeah, just with the history, it's prime ghost territory.
Prime haunt.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, like last week, I had a really hard time narrowing this down. I was even considering going outside of Europe and cheating a little bit, but that I was like, we'll need a whole separate episode for
So
that.
how many stories you got?
I think 5. Sounds like a lot, but I had 4 or 5 last week too, and we breezed through those okay. So
Totally just breezed.
yes. Anyway, yeah, sounds like a lot, but for the sake of time today, we'll just cover what we can.
Let's go.
But first one, I would venture to say most everyone has at least heard of this place.
Ooh, give me a hint. I'll guess.
It's in England.
That couldn't be more vague.
It's in London.
Is it the... What is that name?
Is
it a prison?
No.
It's not Tower London.
It is a Tower London.
Hey, it is a prison.
Is it a prison?
That's where they kept prison.
It's not now. I thought. Sorry, I thought
you guys.
I thought you meant now, like it is a current thing. And no. Okay. Anywho, setting the stage here. The Tower of London is not just a tower, for those who don't know. It is an entire fortress sitting on the Thames. Did I say that right? This is the Thames, right? Thames. Yeah, it has a little Z on the end of it. Okay. Staring down the city.
Staring down the city.
Staring down the city with nearly 1,000 years of history baked into those stone cold walls. So it was built by William the Conqueror. He built it in the 1070s. 1070s, just like wrap your mind around that. Although I will say in our fall equinox episode when we were talking about some places there, 1070 is like nothing compared to some of those locations. Oh my God. Okay, moving on.
Oh, no.
So the tower has worn a lot of hats over the centuries. Royal residence, a prison, an armory, treasury, and even a zoo at one point. And that's going to come back into my story in a little bit, believe it or not.
Is there a haunted monkey?
But of course, no, different animal. The role that most of us, I think, remember is the site of royal scandal,
Mm.
imprisonment, and a very, very famous execution. So Anne Boleyn is, one would argue, the most famous ghost. She is the second wife of Henry VIII and mother of Elizabeth I. So again, people may or may not know this full story. She was accused of adultery and treason in 1536, but most historians agree that she was framed so Henry could marry Jane Seymour.
Mhm.
You know that story.
I do.
So she was imprisoned there before her execution, kept in the Tower's royal apartments, which is very kind of darkly ironic because that was the same place that had once been used to celebrate her coronation. That's kind of an icky turn of events. Her execution took place on Tower Green, and she even requested a skilled French swordsman to ensure a, quote, clean death.
Cool.
Did you hear that? I feel like you've known that, or we've talked about that before.
I would definitely request that.
Yeah, because a lot of
would you
those
not?
beheadings did not go well.
Like, oops, I missed. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let me try again.
So visitors and guards have reported seeing her ghost ever since. Sometimes she's seen wandering the chapel of St. Peter ad Vincula. Yeah, I think I'm saying that right.
Sounds very European.
Where she's buried. Head tucked under her arm. She's walking around. So it's like very nearly headless Nick type situation.
That's weird.
Yeah. Other times she's been spotted gliding through the tower corridors, dressed in her royal gown, silent but unmistakably regal. There's even an account from the 19th century of a soldier fainting after encountering her apparition, headless but standing tall. So she's got that going for her. If, she's walking around, she's at least got a little dignity left there. There's also another kind of chilling mystery in the tower, the disappearance of the two young princes, Edward V. Do I have that right? Yeah, the fifth, and his brother Richard. So in 1483, after their father, King Edward IV, died, the boys were sent to the tower, supposedly for protection, by their uncle Richard, Duke of Gloucester. I'm sure I'm saying that. Gloucester?
Yeah.
Say it.
Gloucester.
That one. Gloucester. So white and
Oh,
American
boy.
and California and annoying. But then they vanished.
Actually,
Gloucestershire. Yes, you were correct on that. But then they vanished forever.
Really?
Yeah.
Never
Kind of
heard of
eerie. I
that.
know. Never heard of this one, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's like these little
Two
known
princes
stories.
just are like gone?
Mm-hmm.
Dang, someone murdered them.
That's what I'm saying. So Richard crowned himself king shortly after becoming Richard III, but the general belief is that he had them murdered to secure the throne. Petty bitches back then, I swear. So centuries later, this is come to life. Centuries later, in 1674, workmen uncovered two small skeletons buried beneath a staircase. The question is, were they the princes?
I mean, who else would they be?
Know. We'll never know for sure.
Two
But
small skeletons?
Their spirits are said to linger. I know. Listen. Things were crazy back then. I guess you never know. I know. It seems.
Yeah, what are the odds of two small random people getting murdered and buried there? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Doesn't take up.
Very, very suspect. Guards have claimed to hear the faint sounds of children laughing or crying in the dead of night, echoing through the White Tower. Some say they've even seen two small figures holding hands, dressed in night clothes, staring out from one of the upper windows before fading into the darkness. I don't have an age.
Under 10, I imagine.
That sounds under 10 to me. Yeah. Very sad regardless.
Crazy.
Okay, I have a couple more. These are more women haunting this place. Go figure. So another tragic royal spirit tied to the tower is Lady Jane Grey, or the so-called 9 Days Queen. She was just 16 when she was placed on the throne after King Edward VI's death, but her reign was very short-lived, overthrown by Mary Tudor, later known as Bloody Mary. Jane was imprisoned in the tower and executed on Tower Green. Everyone on freaking Tower Green, man. In 1554, alongside her husband. Her ghost is often described as solemn and sorrowful, appearing on the anniversary of her death, gliding silently around the battlements or near the site of her execution. The ghosts here so far seem to be very
boring,
civil. You know what I mean? They're all just kind of like
ghosty
roaming. They're just kind of like they're just hanging out.
Yeah, they're just like
a bit bummed.
Sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. So some accounts describe her figure as pale and ethereal, occasionally accompanied by her weeping husband's spirit, forever reunited in tragedy.
Huh? Great.
So then my last lady of the night, if you will, the White Lady and the Phantom Bear. So the tower has no shortage of lesser known spirits too, clearly.
Oh, the bear.
So the White Lady, seen waving from the windows of the White Tower, sometimes accompanied by the faint scent of roses. Another is a phantom bear. So here comes back to the zoo. So it's not a
Yeah.
monkey, but a bear. So in the 1880s, a guard reportedly died of shock after encountering what he swore was a massive spectral bear near the Martin Tower.
Spectacle bear.
No, spectral
Spectral.
bear.
Huh.
Not entirely sure what that means, but I think it like phantom bear. Like it was like
Huh.
either ghostly or it's like it looked like a bear, but it wasn't like alive. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Like we were talking about this, I think maybe in last week's episode, where people will have like seen ghosts or apparitions or whatever, but it's so real that you like think it's there,
Sure.
or you like could touch them. You know what I
Huh.
mean? That kind of a thing. So
Why a bear?
I think that's
Continue. Tell me why a bear.
educated guess. Well, so basically, all I really have on that is that the tower did house a royal menagerie centuries ago. So lions, leopards, monkeys, and bears. So perhaps it's just one of those ones that were killed there and is just kind of wandering around still.
Huh.
But we don't have like an official
Reason.
this is like what happened. This is the bear that it is.
Weird.
Yeah. So even today, and I had to Google this next part. I'm not gonna lie, because I didn't know what this was, what the name of it was. So, see yet again, you guys, something I'm not gonna pronounce right, so I apologize. It's like Yeoman warders, Yeoman, Yeoman warders, aka quote beef eaters, who live and work there, who are ceremonial guardians of the Tower of London. Basically, just imagine, like the guards at like Buckingham Palace or something like that. It's like some
Like
iteration of that is what I
Yeah.
understand it. Yeah. They are members of the Sovereign's bodyguard with origins dating back to 1485. They report eerie sensations, cold spots, sudden chills, and whispers in empty rooms.
Cool.
And some refuse to enter certain areas alone after dark. So it's just, I don't know, it's just one of those places you can just feel like all these centuries of happenings around you. Yeah. I really want to visit there. When I went there, I've been to London like 2 or 3 times. Like a couple times were just like on really quick layovers or nothing, substantial enough. But the one time I was like substantially there, my roommate at the time went to the Tower of London and I decided to go to Stratford upon Avon. We kind of split up that day. And I'm like, that was worth it. Well worth going to Stratford upon Avon. But I do kind of wish I had gone to the Tower of London.
The names of their places.
I feel like
I'd
appreciate it more now. Stratford upon Avon.
Yeah, they got such cool places.
You know who was born there, right? There's a reason I went there.
A famous British person.
Mm-hmm.
Male or female?
Male. Well, yeah. I'm just gonna Shakespeare.
I would have never got there.
I didn't think so.
Well, if you would have said famous for plays, I'm like, oh, Shakespeare.
Yeah, you might have gotten there eventually. Anyway, yeah, Shakespeare was born there, so it was a very cute little town. Yeah, highly recommend going. By the way, but yeah,
cool.
It's the Tower of London.
Love it.
Mm-hmm. All right, next up, we are going not super far. We're going to Scotland for the Edinburgh Castle. Let's try not to completely botch that.
That's probably old as shit.
Yes, and it has a whole lot of stuff going on there with a lot of history behind it. So, again, let's paint the scene here. So, it sits high above the city on Castle Rock, a massive volcanic plug, not my words, that gives it that perfect kind of storybook silhouette against Scottish skyline.
Have you been there?
No.
Oh.
I've never been to Scotland. I've been to Ireland, which is also going to be on my list. Hint, hint. Very different accent, yes. But I want to go very bad. And honestly, once I started really getting into the story and researching it, man, I want to go even badder. That's what I was about to say. That's not a word. I want to go more bad now. Yes. So from the streets below, it looks unshakable, like so many castles do, right? It's been kind of guarding Edinburgh for all of eternity, it seems like. But when you step inside, the energy shifts a lot. There's just something kind of ancient and heavy and sort of watchful about it, like so many, castles in this place. But this one's just hits different. So it's one of the oldest fortified places in Europe with human occupation dating back to at least the Iron Age. The current stone castle began taking shape around the 12th century under King David I. And through the centuries, it has been a royal residence, a military fortress, a prison of war, and, because it is Scotland, the site of
brewery.
more.
Oh.
I know you. I had a feeling you were going to say that. That's super funny. More than a few bloody betrayals and ghostly legends.
Interesting.
So it's just, oh man, it's just like the perfect setting for it. It's so quintessential. So it is quite literally built on conflict. So it has been under siege more than 20 times. It's a lot, I feel like. I mean, not that I'm any
the Scottish
kind of
and the
expert.
English would fight for,
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
They still fight.
So I guess it's not.
They just don't lay siege to
Okay.
a castle, but they still
I
fight.
Yeah. So that makes it one of the most attacked castles in the world. So one of the most famous events was during the wars of Scottish independence in the 14th century. The English had taken control of the castle, but Scottish forces, led by Thomas Randolph, the nephew of Robert the Bruce. I'd never heard of him. Good to know.
You know
No, I know. I'm telling you, I learned a lot.
Oh my God.
Do I live under a rock?
He was one of the leaders in the rebellion against the English
You're so smart.
in the year 1313.
You know that the year too?
Yeah, it's from Braveheart.
I should have figured. I was like, how do you know these things? Oh my God, you really do know like the most random, incredible things.
From Braveheart.
So this Thomas Randolph guy and his, I was going to say team, army, whatever, scaled the cliffs in the middle of the night to reclaim it. The castle also played a part in the Jacobite the Jacobite uprisings. I feel like you should just tell the story because I'm mispronouncing everything. In the 18th century, and it has served as a garrison for soldiers right up through the modern day, actually. So it's the kind of place where, like, man, if you could just imagine, like, the energy and, like, what those walls have seen. Could you only imagine? All right, so one of the most famous ghosts said to haunt the castle is the headless drummer boy. This is kind of an interesting, crazy. Do you know this one?
No.
Have you heard this? Okay. So the first sighting dates back to 1650, just before Oliver Cromwell's army attacked. Legend says his ghostly drumming was heard echoing across the battlements, a warning that the castle was about to be under siege. No one knows exactly who he was or how he died, but the sound of faint rhythmic drumming has been reported countless times since, usually when the castle is facing some sort of upheaval. Isn't that interesting? So those who claim to have seen him describe the apparition as a small, headless figure marching along the ramparts, keeping a steady beat for an army that never comes.
That's cool.
Cool, but also very sad for this poor kid if that is in fact headless drummer boy.
I would love to hear that if I went there.
Yeah. See, this is one of the reasons I want to go here. I'm like, please, like,
that'd be cool.
let me experience these things. I know.
want to see a headless drummer boy. I'd like, there he is.
Maybe
found him.
Finally make you a believer in some of this stuff, because
I
if you guys
wish.
did not catch this in last week's episode, Mr. Skeptic over there.
I would love to see a ghosty.
I know. You gotta, I get it. You need a little proof. So another spirit with a kind of tragic tale is the Lone Piper. Do you like how a lot of these aren't even like half about, well, there are, I'll get to this, but like
drummer and a piper.
I know. I was like, no specific.
2/3 of a band
like,
now. Next one's gonna be a
like
trumpeter.
These like characters out of Shrek or something. So, according to legend, centuries ago, a secret tunnel was discovered beneath the castle, said to connect to the Royal Mile below. To explore it, a young piper,
the Royal what?
Royal Mile.
Oh, it's like underground tunnels.
It's said to connect the Royal Mile below. I believe so. I did not look up exactly what that meant. So please don't add us.
Must be a escape tunnel underneath or something.
I believe so. So to explore it, a young piper was sent down, playing his bagpipes so that people above could track its location. So one way or another, this was, you could hear it.
Sure.
But suddenly, the music stopped. The search party went down after him, but the piper was gone. Totally vanished without a trace. Just stopped playing.
So he did.
What?
You know what happened?
What do you think happened?
He found the drummer and beheaded him.
Okay.
And then you got the headless drummer.
Okay.
and then he got lost down there and died. So now you got both of them.
Is that how that went down?
And then
Same day.
Then someone buried him in the Tower of London.
Oh my God.
And that's why we have the two little skeletons. It's all coming
It's all
together.
coming together. This all happened the exact same time,
Yep.
exact same day and year and everything. Yeah.
Not that far away.
That has to be it. Just two completely different countries. It's fine.
Oh my God, they're all connected.
Well, I mean, yeah. Anyway, that's one hell of a story. So after that, the tunnels were sealed, but visitors still claim to hear the faint, mournful sound of bagpipes coming from beneath the castle.
I love a bagpipe.
I genuinely
I don't
do.
know why. They're not like objectively, they're an ugly sound. But for whatever reason, they sound good.
But it's a little, when they first start, it's a little jarring to me. It's like, ah.
Yeah.
But then once they start like playing and get kind of melodic and stuff, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm here for this.
Yeah, when they play when someone dies and they play Amazing Grace.
Yeah. Oh man.
Tug at my heart.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but it's eerie because the melody is always the same. It's slow, echoing, kind of unfinished, as if the piper is still wandering underground looking for a way out. I know. Maybe I don't want to go there.
Yeah, he's dead for sure, but
yeah,
I would love to go down there and hear that.
I just want to go to this castle, honestly. So, a couple other things here. Beneath the castle are a series of cold, damp vaults that once held prisoners of war, from French soldiers captured during the 7 Years' War to American sailors from the Revolutionary War. This thing's seen a lot of people. These dungeons are not the kind of place you would want to spend the night. Chains still hang from the walls.
Cool.
This is eerie. And carved graffiti like names, dates, and desperate pleas mark the stone.
That's cool, man.
Isn't that wild?
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, that would just be humbling to see in person, to say the least. So visitors often report sudden drops in temperature, tugging sensations on their clothes, and even just big theme with a lot of places we've gone in these last 2 weeks, the feeling of being watched. And some say they've heard footsteps following them down the narrow corridors, or a voice whispering just behind their ear. That would freak me out. Yeah. And one last famous tale involves the apparition of a man in tattered clothing who smells strongly of rotten flesh.
Gross.
Believed to be the spirit of a prisoner who tried to escape by hiding in a dung barrel, only to be thrown over the castle walls. Is that crazy?
That sucks, bro.
I know. And I forgot I had this last one. There is a lady here too. So another commonly reported spirit is the Gray Lady, thought by some to be Janet Douglas, Lady Glamis, a noble woman falsely accused of witchcraft and burned at the stake outside of the castle in 1537. Here we have another burn the witch story. Visitors describe her as a sorrowful figure drifting through the Great Hall and the corridors near St. Margaret's Chapel, in Scotland's oldest surviving building. That's pretty amazing. Her presence is often accompanied by an overwhelming feeling of sadness or faint scent of burning wood. Some historians suggest that she may be instead one of the many plague victims buried beneath the castle, her restless energy kind of unable to move on.
Forgot about the plague.
Yeah. So last little bit here in terms of like scientific paranormal investigations, because this is like, I mean, listen, with all of that, and there's probably others that I haven't even covered or whatever, this has been the site of some very serious, actually, paranormal research over the years. In 2001, a team of scientists conducted one of the largest ghost studies ever there. This is pretty crazy. I've never heard of one this big. 200 volunteers explored the known, quote, haunted areas while reporting sensations and experiences. Many participants, even skeptics, reported extreme cold spots, sudden feelings of fear, and the sensation of being touched or watched, especially in the dungeons and old prisons.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Yeah, be interesting, wouldn't it? And the results were never officially declared proof, of course, but the fact that so many just unrelated people in like totally different areas described a lot of the same experiences as like kind of chillingly consistent. And yeah, it's really just a place where this like turbulent history and supernatural kind of, plus the folklore, all the things, it just
interesting.
Yeah, fascinating, right? So yeah, I'm dying to go there. I wanted to go there before, but after
I would love to go to Scotland, drink some scotch.
I know. Add it to our list. Not add it. It's been on my list. I just got to.
It's a long list.
I think it's got to move up here a little bit. Yep. All right. Next one. Moving right along. We're going to... This makes me a little bit sad because we were supposed to go there this year.
Paris to the catacombs.
You just add sunny to everything now after. This is a Pitch Perfect reference for those who don't know. Sunny Copenhagen.
But it's Paris Catacombs.
Thank you, Brittany Snows. Yes, it is.
I knew it.
It is the Paris Catacombs. How much do you know about the Paris Catacombs? Other than the fact that there's bones down there.
I mean, they buried a lot of plague people down there.
Okay, so not quite what you might think it is. Okay. So beneath all of the, magic of Paris above, there is just this world of really eerie darkness and silence and bones and death and a lot of it. So the catacombs of Paris, I don't know if you knew this exact number. You probably knew it was like big, right? There's like, it's
be 1 million.
Right. So it stretches for nearly 200 miles beneath the city.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
Sure.
Like,
that's
trying to picture that. That's, whoa. Though only a small section of it is open to the public, the rest is just an endless warren of tunnels filled with human remains stacked in this really strange kind of like geometric perfection pattern. I'm sure you've like seen some photos. For those of you listening, if you've not seen photos, don't look if you don't want to see it, obviously, but it is a sight to behold. Like real talk. So back in the 18th century, Paris had a major problem. The cemeteries were overflowing.
Yeah, that's freaking funny, man.
So the cemetery of
they didn't burn people that back then, right? They didn't like cremate. Obviously, they didn't. We're running out of places to bury people, so like, let's dig some tunnels.
Well, here's the interesting part. Okay, so this is what I was going to get to. So the Cemetery of the Innocents, in particular, had been used for nearly 10 centuries. God, that is it's a hot minute. Bodies
People were been dying forever.
Yeah, well, that's what they say. So you're so astute. Bodies were packed in so tightly that the ground swelled with decay.
Gross.
The stench was unbearable, and people living nearby complained that their basements were literally seeping with the runoff from decomposing corpses.
No way. That's crazy.
Probably should have had trigger warning here.
That's
I
cool.
apologize.
That's wild.
Yeah. So finally, in the 1780s, city officials decided to act on this. The solution was to move the remains, millions of them, right, into the city's old limestone quarries beneath the streets.
Huh.
I have watched some sort of documentary on this a very long time ago. I forgot a lot of this stuff. I've also watched like a Ghost Adventures episode every like a while back too. So just the paranormal stuff I've seen, but I have forgotten a lot of these details. So night after night, wagons filled with bones were quietly rolled through Paris, priests leading the way with torches, chanting prayers as they transferred the dead to their new resting place. Over time, the bones were arranged neatly, skulls and femurs carefully stacked to form decorative patterns. So I don't even know what to make of that. So today, an estimated 6 million Parisians are interred down there. Interred. 6 million.
That's a lot of people.
6 million. That's crazy.
And they don't even know who any of them are, is the crazy part.
Yeah.
It's like died and they're like, all right, well, you're dead, so we're just going to...
Right, if they didn't have like a headstone or it wasn't...
add you to the pile. Like, what?
Yeah. So the part of the catacombs open to the public feels... I can only begin to imagine, but it just feels like you're stepping into another world. So these long, narrow tunnels lined with carefully arranged, again, walls of bones. There are even plaques marking where the remains came from.
Oh, okay.
I put the French in here because I was going to try and pronounce them. I don't know that I should. French and it just doesn't come out of my mouth.
Try one.
Oh, God. Saint Nicolas des Champs.
That's pretty good.
Deschamps.
Deschamps.
That could have. Deschamps.
Is it C-H-A-M?
It's literally what it would look like to us, like us Americans. Saint Nicholas des Champs.
Champs. C-H-A-M-P-S.
Yeah.
Champs.
Champs. Yeah. So there's another one too.
As
it's
in
like
Champs-Élysées.
This would be cemetery. This word cemetery. Told told you guys. Whatever. The word for
Malt.
Cimetière de la Madeleine.
Madeleine Cemetery.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, I won't go on. I'll spare everyone. But at least in March, where they came from in that regard. The entrance also bears an inscription in French. Arrête, c'est ici l'empire de la mort.
Wasn't like terrible. I was speak French.
That could have been exponentially worse. I just wanted to get into it and just see what I could do.
I understood death, but
arrête, is that stop?
Stop? Oh yeah, of course, arrest. Duh.
Arrête. Yeah. This is the Empire of Death.
Oh.
C'est ici. I don't know how you say that in French. Whatever. That's not what this episode's about. But anyway, sorry guys.
Nice episode.
Thanks for bearing with me. It's fun to practice. Good to try. And it's not just for the drama. Down there, it really feels like another realm. The air is damp and cool. Sounds travel kind of strangely. It bounces off everything in weird ways. And some visitors report an overwhelming sense of dizziness or dread that hits them from the moment they cross that threshold. It's like the dead's like, you're here. Let's make ourselves known. So these catacombs are just packed with ghost stories. 6 million people. It's hard to imagine there wouldn't be, right? So tour guides tell tales of phantom whispers echoing through the tunnels, or the sound of footsteps following just behind you, but when you turn, no one's there. Some visitors have claimed to feel invisible hands brushing against their shoulders or the back of their necks. That, I think, would freak me. You know what I mean? Getting kind of tugged on, or like the voice in your ear, that would probably actually freak me out more than like seeing something. I feel like. I don't know. That's just me. Cameras malfunction, batteries die suddenly, and photos capture strange mists or orbs hovering in the darkness. One of the eeriest legends is that the catacombs become something else entirely after midnight. Locals say the spirits awaken and roam freely, luring lost wanderers deeper into the maze where they forever vanish.
Wow.
There's even a story from the 1990s. A group of urban explorers found a camcorder deep in the restricted tunnels. The footage, this is crazy. I want to do actually probably more research on this just for like myself or anyone here listening if you're curious. The footage showed a man wandering alone, visibly panicked and breathing heavily. And then suddenly the camera dropped and his body was never found.
Huh.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, I don't, cool is not the right word, but ugh. But whether the story is true or not, because I think there's, it is a story, but it is a story that haunts even seasoned explorers. So speaking of explorers, there is an entire underground subculture in Paris known as cataphiles. Did you know about all this? They're like, I have definitely heard of like parties going on down there, like people breaking in or getting in through other things. So yeah, these are people who illegally enter the off-limits sections of the catacombs through hidden entrances in metro tunnels, basements, or storm drains. I've definitely heard about this. So they throw underground parties, create secret art installations, and even hold film screenings down there. But they also talk about strange encounters like whispers, shadows moving in candlelight, and just, again, that eerie feeling of being watched. And even the most like seasoned people that have been down there a long time or, multiple times say that there are parts of the catacombs that they just refuse to go. Like sections where the air and just vibes just feel more wrong than usual, let's just say. and or where people are known to have gotten lost and never made it out.
Interesting.
Yeah. So again, paranormal investigators have conducted countless seances and ghost hunts there. Some claim to have recorded disembodied voices, orbs of light, and sudden cold gusts that seem to kind of come from nowhere. And one common experience reported by tourists and guides alike is that an overwhelming sense of sadness, kind of just being surrounded by this just grief that just, sort of never fades. Yeah. So, and a lot of others say that they hear faint murmurs that seem to come from the walls themselves. So, yeah, it's just the kind of place that just it's not like what I'm kind of gathering. I mean, maybe some things, but it's not like a place where it's like a jump scare kind of haunting sort of place. It's more like psychological,
Yeah.
Might be some jump scares, but Yeah.
Cool. I'd go
Paris
there.
Catacombs.
That sounds
That's
fun.
another place where I was like, we just need to go on like a haunted tour
Yeah.
of Europe. All right. Next on the list is Bran Castle.
Okay.
You're gonna. Does that like immediately come to anything? Anything come
it
to you with that
sounds
one?
familiar. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm. So it is perched high in the Carpathian Mountains of Transylvania.
Oh, is this
Where
the
do you think I'm
Vlad
going
Impaler
this?
one?
Yeah, Bran Castle is straight out of a Gothic novel.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So it has spires and turrets
Yes.
that jut into the fog. It's framed by just this dense pine forest. So while Bran Castle is most famously known as Dracula's castle, the truth is kind of tangled in myth and mystery. Bram Stoker, to clarify those two names, Bram Stoker never actually visited Romania, but his 1897 novel Dracula described a fortress eerily similar to Bran. And ever since, the castle has been synonymous with the vampire Prince of Darkness.
Got it.
Think that's where people are getting this from, right? So the real history behind the legend, let's just dig into that for like a hot second. So the castle itself was built in the late 1300s, originally as a fortress to defend the border between Transylvania and Wallachia. I should have looked that up. Anyway, its position on a steep cliff, I see you're shaking your head, a steep cliff made it the perfect lookout against invading forces, especially the Ottoman Empire. But it wasn't just the soldiers who occupied these halls. Over the centuries, Bran Castle served as a royal residence, a customs post, and even a safe haven for villagers during attacks. So the structure that we see today, all narrow staircases, stone passageways, and these echoing chambers have been preserved. But there, again, just with a lot of these places, there's just undeniable weight to it when you go there, you know? So here is where fact and fiction intertwine here a little bit. So the real life inspiration for Count Dracula was Vlad III of Wallachia. I'm going to say Wallachia. I think I'm 90% sure that is.
I've never
If it's
heard
Wallachia,
that word in my life.
I'm going to be so disappointed in myself. So I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone with that. But better known as Vlad Tepes or Vlad the Impaler. Yeah. So born in 1431, he earned his nickname from his favorite method of punishment, impaling his enemies on wooden stakes and leaving their bodies as gruesome warnings.
I mean, as one does.
He was both feared and revered, a ruthless ruler to his enemies, but a national hero to some Romanians for defending the region from Ottoman invasion. While there's no definitive proof that Vlad ever lived in Bran Castle, he did pass through the region many times. Some historical records suggest that he may have even been imprisoned there briefly. So while Bran might not be Dracula's literal home, it embodies this legend kind of perfectly. So, but I've seen a lot like documentaries and stuff. If you go there, like there's a lot of Dracula kind of, feeds into it a bit. But with its reputation, it's no surprise that Bran Castle is rumored to be quite haunted, not just by Vlad, but others who have just met their very, very, very grim fates within its walls. Visitors report disembodied voices, cold drafts, and shadows that move even when the air is still. Some say they've seen the ghost of a woman in white gliding silently through the corridors, believed to be Queen Marie of Romania, who lived there in the early 20th century and adored the castle, apparently. Others speak of soldiers in medieval armor appearing in the courtyard, vanishing as quickly as they come. Guides and night staff often describe hearing footsteps echoing through the great hall long after closing, and doors creaking open when no one is nearby. And one of the most chilling legends tells of prisoners who were tortured in the castle's underground chambers, and their screams are said to echo faintly in the stone. Again, sensing a theme here. Yeah. So the region around Bran is also rich with ancient folklore about the undead, and these are not your modern vampires. This is not some Twilight stuff, right? So in Roman mythology, creatures called strigoi, I'll make sure I'm pronouncing that right, but I think that was it, were said to be the restless spirits of the dead rising from their graves to drain the life from the living.
But vampire.
they weren't just feared, they were believed in. Hardcore. So villagers performed rituals to protect themselves, from placing garlic in windows to staking corpses suspected of being strigoi. What?
This is ridiculous.
What?
That's just so weird that people would do that.
Listen,
You know
I'm
what would
telling
help?
you.
Garlic. Like what?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where that came from. Listen, if they believe to help, I guess. Bram Stoker drew heavily from these Eastern European legends when creating Dracula, mixing them with stories of Vlad's cruelty to craft the perfect monster. So I think that's sounding like this is ultimately where this all came from. So even though Bran Castle might not be, again, the vampire's true home, standing in its shadow, you kind of feel like it could be, right? Sure. It's this crossroads of myth and history. So today, it is a museum. It is open to the public and filled with royal artifacts, weapons, and medieval relics. So you can go there. But despite, the daylight tours and feeling kind of whatever in the morning and the souvenir shops and everything, there is just something very deeply unsettling about how alive it sort of feels. So the corridors are kind of narrow and uneven. It's lit by these flickering torches that cast these long shadows on the walls. And it's, it's just so quintessential, and a lot of visitors describe sudden drops in temperature as if, again, cold has just brushed by them, or they feel inexplicably anxious the deeper they go into the lower chambers. And one particular passageway, which is a narrow stair hidden behind a bookshelf, many describe it to be especially unnerving. It's dark, it's tight, the air feels kind of heavy and sort of electric, and it's also probably very claustrophobic feeling in there. But each Halloween, this is the last thing I'll say about it. Each Halloween, it hosts elaborate events, including candlelit tours and masquerade balls that attract visitors from around the world.
I didn't know that. That'd be fun.
Right? I, again,
masquerade ball,
add it to our tour. That would be
insane.
So cool. I would love to go to a masquerade. But I was like, I don't want to go to just any masquerade ball. Like
the masquerade ball.
No. And guests often dress as the Stoker's characters, Mina, Van Helsing, Dracula himself, and wander the same halls that have inspired centuries of stories.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I really want to go. Fun, huh? Okay. Technically, I have two more.
Okay.
For the sake of time, I'm going to let you choose.
Ooh.
Our last one.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want me to give you the exact what they are in the location, or do you want me to just give you the country?
Do country first, then I'll decide.
Just making your own rules. Okay. We've one in Ireland and one in Italy.
Italy.
I knew you were going to choose Italy. Okay. The one I would have done in Ireland that I still think, if anyone is interested, should look up, because I literally just also rewatched an episode of Ghost Adventures on this one. It's called The Lep Castle. They, in this particular special, it was kind of like a longer episode. They went there, and I think like a couple other places. It is like, I'm not going to say similar to some of the other castles we've talked about today, but it's kind of wild. It is a wild history. They got some really compelling kind of like evidence there. Yeah, it's one of like the most. Some call it Ireland's most haunted castle. Yeah. So it's like, it's hardcore. Cool. Yeah. So really interesting one. But let's go to Italy. I'm kind of glad you chose Italy here, because this was actually not at all on my radar. I've never heard of this. And I'm actually kind of glad we're doing this one, because I think you definitely have not heard of this. I would venture to say, I feel like most people haven't, because this is not one of the more basic, Bran Castle, Tower of London type things, right?
What's it called?
Poveglia Island. Do you know this?
I think I do, actually.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you know where it is?
Didn't they send people there for some reason?
Okay, you're not totally off.
What was the reason?
Do you know where it is? Well, I'll tell you, but do you...
Was it... What's that thing? Was it leprosy? What was it they sent people there for?
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, am I close?
But you're not completely off.
Was it plague people?
Okay, well, hold on. What I want to know, do you know where in Italy it is? Well, you could also figure, I said island.
Italy.
Right? Do you know where? As islands often are. Do you know, like, roughly east side, west side, near a big city? Do you know anything?
It's off Naples?
Nope, not even close.
Oh.
Venice.
Oh, it's on that side.
Yeah. It is the polar opposite of where you said it was.
I think I remember that. Yes.
Yeah?
Okay.
Okay. Hang with me. And this one's not super, super long, so
yeah, they sent people there for some
hang
reason.
out with me on this one. But this one's really interesting.
Yeah.
Again, I'm glad this was not on my radar because I was like, okay, I'm intrigued.
Where did I hear? I heard something about this place being really fucking haunted.
It is
And
really...
it's just like a bunch of people got sent there and like buried there or some shit like that.
So just off the coast of Venice, floating quietly in the Venetian lagoon, lies a small island that few dare to visit. And I should interrupt myself. Few can visit because you actually
can't go there.
You can't go there. Yeah. There are some plans to maybe change that, but anyway, I digress. I'll get there. So from afar, Poveglia Island looks almost peaceful. It's overgrown, bit overgrown with trees, surrounded by this like calm blue water, and these remnants of old brick buildings kind of peek through the ivy. It's like beautiful, but also kind of like it's a little sus, right? But up close, it's very different. The silence of it just feels kind of heavy. Locals call it l'Isola dei Morti, the island of the dead. So for centuries, Poveglia has been considered one of the most haunted places in the world, a cursed island filled with tragedy, disease, and death. So you're on the right track here. So the story begins in the late 1300s during the height of the Black Death. I feel like this is where you were trying to go with this, when Venice was one of Europe's busiest ports and one of the hardest hit by the plague. As the death toll soared, the Venetian government needed a way to stop the spread, and their solution was quarantine. So ships arriving in Venice were forced to anchor near Poveglia, and anyone showing symptoms was sent ashore, condemned to die there. So the island became essentially a mass grave. Thousands of bodies were burned and buried in pits. Some were thrown into pyres before they were even fully dead. And it is estimated that over 100,000 people perished there. So many that the island soil is said to be made of ash mixed with human remains.
Crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So for centuries afterward, fishermen avoided even sailing near it, afraid that their nets might pull up bones.
Whoa.
God, could you imagine? So as if that all wasn't dark enough. So Poveglia's history, we're not done yet, not even close. So their history took another sinister turn in the 20th century. So in the 1920s, the island's abandoned buildings were converted into a psychiatric hospital.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
They put like they put a like a I keep wanting to say like it was.
It's the psychiatric hospital.
Yeah.
Is what you're
keep wanting to say.
Is that where you
house.
were like?
Yeah.
A what house?
Crazy house.
Yeah, that's not PC.
Yeah, they put like a.
Oh my God.
Like an insane asylum.
Yes,
on the island,
which is
also
like not
crazy
PC
people
anymore,
in
but
there.
yes.
Yeah. I remember that. Okay.
You're going in the right direction. Yes. So as if this was all not a recipe for hauntings before, let's just add a psychiatric hospital onto this. So records from that period are scarce, deliberately so, but the stories that emerge later are absolutely chilling. Patients reported seeing dark figures, hearing whispers, and feeling watched constantly, but their accounts were dismissed as delusions. So often are. According to legend, one doctor performed experimental treatments there, crude lobotomies, electric shock therapy, and other inhumane procedures. He supposedly claimed the island's ghosts were all in his patients' heads until he, as the story goes, went mad himself. The tale ends with the doctor either falling or being pushed, we don't know, from the hospital's bell tower. Some say his screams echoed long after he hit the ground. Oh, God. Locals swear that at night, when the wind is right, you can still hear the faint ringing of that bell, even though it was removed decades ago. Yeah. So in 1968, the asylum closed and Poveglia was completely abandoned. Nature took over. The buildings began to crumble. Ivy crawled over the walls. Birds nestled in its empty windows. If you please go see some pictures. I mean, it's eerie. It's not like scary to look at per se, but like it is really like fascinating to look at. The Italian government declared the island off limits. No one is allowed to visit without special permission. And even the most daring explorers and paranormal investigators described the overwhelming feelings of dread the moment they step foot on that island. Some claim to hear whispers echoing through the hallways or see flickers of shadows darting past doorways. And others describe hearing cries and coughing, sounds of plague victims reliving their final moments, just looping for eternity. So this is really interesting. Very, very quick little, just to wrap this up and kind of the reputation of what's going on with it today. So Poveglia has become infamous worldwide, except for us not knowing about it. Often called, it's fine, we live under a rock half the time.
I knew
anyway,
about it. You didn't.
That's why we have, actually, I was very impressed. Do you remember where you heard
I
about
can't
this?
remember where I heard about it, yeah.
Yeah, you just knew
Just
it
pulled
from
it
somewhere.
from the annals of my brain.
Oh my God, gross. Of all the words
What?
you could have used. I don't know. No, it's just funny. Okay. It's often called the world's most haunted island. There's another one that I was going to do, how I alluded earlier in the episode where I was like, oh, I kind of wanted to go rogue and go to like some other like non-Europe places. Have you heard of the Island of the Dolls? Don't worry, I'm not going to go into the whole story.
Yes, it's like an island with like weird dolls everywhere.
Right? So I'm like, that's got to be the freaking most haunted. I don't know. That is another fascinating story, by the way, if you guys have not heard of that one. Isla de la Muñecas, I think it was. I don't know. I'm mixing my Spanish and Italian up. Either way, in 2014, coming back to Poveglia, a private buyer reportedly leased the islands with plans to restore it, but those plans mysteriously stalled. So I got a little couple sort of like half stories here. I kind of read one thing and then read another. So some say contractors refused to work there after strange accidents and eerie experiences. But another account I read on CNN Travel, and it's a recent article, it was like August 2025 or so, says the renovation of the island, which lacks electricity and running water, shocking, is being guided by I don't know how to say it. It's like APSYM laboratory, but it's like capital AP, lowercase sy, uppercase M. It's like a very interesting, I don't know, abbreviation. Anyway, laboratory at the University of Verona's Department of Human Sciences. Regardless, to this day, the island remains largely untouched, hidden from the public, decaying quietly in the Venetian fog. Even the locals in Venice refuse to speak much about it. They say Poveglia has bad energy and just needs to be left alone. But I was reading somewhere that there's like a rumor or something that they might want to do something with it or make a park into it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, try and revive it somehow in like a more positive way. But I'm kind of with the locals on this one. I'd maybe just
leave it there.
Let it be. These spirits just like chill.
Declare it like a burial site and just like
just like let the respect just be there. Yeah.
Weird.
We'll see. But those are my locations.
Cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Some you knew. Sounds like all of them more or less you knew, just maybe not the nitty gritties. Yeah. But yeah, these haunted locations is kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's definitely fun for me because I live for this stuff. But I do hope it may be inspired. I mean, especially with these Europe locations. I want to go to like all of the US locations we talked about too, honestly. Salem, haven't been there yet. The what was the one place I did in the South? Can't remember the name now, but I don't know. There's just
that plantation house.
Yeah. Was pretty amazing. So yeah, we're gonna have to do like a haunted tour around Europe.
The whole tour of ghosties.
I'm sure our almost 2-year-old daughter would love that.
Yeah, I mean,
to leave her at home on that one.
Perfect place for children.
I know. Well, that wraps it up for this part 1 and part 2 of our haunted locations. An episode is coming. Might be switching some things around, but we are going to someplace that's also, we alluded to this last week, not going to give it away just yet. We are going to someplace pretty soon that also has a whole history and sort of hauntingness to it. Stay tuned for that. But I hope you guys like this one and let us know if you have been to any of these locations, if they are on your list too, if you learned something today.
If you don't care.
If you don't care like him. Or you're just kind of here for the vibes. Not that you don't care. Or also skeptical. Because then you'll have something in common with him.
Skeptical.
Yeah.
Love to see a ghost, but
yeah. You're a see it to believe it kind of guy.
Yeah. When it comes to stuff like that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us in this one, and we'll see you in next week's episode.
Cheers.